There is a bill up to freeze naturalizations after a report. A DHS Inspector General made public this month stated that, according to this, at least 858 people ordered to be deported were mistakenly granted citizenship because their digital fingerprint records weren't in DHS or FBI databases. Some paper-based fingerprint records weren't consistently converted into digital form. Also, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, identified missing fingerprint records for about 315,000 immigrants who were criminals or had been ordered deported, according to the Inspector General report. Also, it is absolutely outrageous that these 858 aliens were able to defraud the government because these paper-based fingerprints were not uploaded, as according to
freeloaders, defrauders.
According to John Culberson, who's bringing up the who's bringing the bill before Congress. The response from the DHS Secretary is, I have no basis to believe that any of them were terrorists or suspected terrorists. That's Jeh Johnson.
He also had a great point that I really think will win the day when he goes, it really wasn't 858, it's more like 750.
So what is this the answer? Is the answer to freeze naturalizations, or is it something else?
No, there's no story here. First of all, the bill will never pass, right? I mean, I suppose it would pass actually if Donald Trump was elected president. Something to think about, right? Because Republicans could have a majority of every house, and Trump would probably sign that bill. That's the kind of nonsense bill we could expect in the Trump presidency. In fact, that's a great point. That's the kind of nonsense bill you could expect in the Trump presidency. So, but of course, if it were to pass, it wouldn't pass the Senate here currently as it stands now, and if it were to get to President Obama's desk or Hillary Clinton's desk, they'd veto it, and that would be the end of that. Like, this isn't a sign of anything. This is a guy, John Culberson, trying to jump on the paranoia about immigration with what constitutes ultimately a very minor clerical error, the kind of things that happens all the time. And most mistakes are not evil. Most mistakes are incompetence. And this was a moment of systematic incompetence because, what do you say? What do you call the...
Jeh Johnson?
No, the fingerprint database didn't modernize, right?
Right.
So the paper ballots weren't updated into the computer. And so, therefore, they didn't know that these people were immigrants, and that they weren't eligible to be citizens, and now they're citizens. And now we're stuck with between 750 and 858 more citizens in a country of what?
400,000 people. I don't know.
Not 400 million.
400
million close to it, though.
Yeah, I do want something. You know, the answer is not to freeze naturalization. The answer is for Jeh Johnson to say something different than it was actually about 700. It's for Jeh Johnson to say something like, okay, we've evaluated the problem. Here's exactly what happened. We now know who those people were who went through without being vetted, and we're handling the problem. Yeah, but then again, this is overreacting. And this is one of those symbolic...
Right, it's not even overreacting because he's not overreacting. He's reacting exactly how he should react if you want to stay elected and stay in the news and seem like a comer in the...
Watch your mouth.
In the Republican Party. And so this is we mentioned John Culberson's name today because he proposed this nonsense bill for a non-existent problem. Obviously, it goes without saying that we shouldn't allow the paper fingerprint database to bleed out of the regular database. Fix the database. There's the problem. Solve it. Right. I'll fix the database. You know what they probably need? Money. So that's the problem.
And this is my pet project now. Congress doesn't work.
Fixing the database? That's going to be Congress
doesn't work.
Right, so
I complain about it every time. Vote for me. The Congress doesn't work. They just got back at the beginning of September from being off for August and half of June, or half of July, and then August. Then they are in session for 3.5 weeks, and now they're gone again until after the election because that makes sense. Because they have to go back and campaign because they got to get that money in order to get back in office so they can continue to do nothing.
Well, they actually do have
next
to campaign.
Year.
Right, this is when they go for the votes. They've gotten most of the money.
Oh yeah, they've already got the money. But so
all
they can come
summer
back.
They were getting the money. This is where they're spending the 2 seasons
and repaid
of
their
politics.
debts to all the people they've got. But no, so this is the same thing. It's easy. You think the answer is easy. Fix it. But that's boring. We got to say, oh, I'm going to change everything. I've heard this crazy guy has a chance to win the election, as you said, Ben. Let me say crazy things because my name will be out there. I mean, you go to a convenience store and they scan your 2 Snickers and they're 2 buy one, get one free, but the person didn't scan, so they actually gave you 2 free Snickers. So the convenience shop say, we're shutting down the whole convenience shop. No one's ever coming here again because we made a mistake with our scanners. It doesn't make any sense. You fix it and you lose that 50 cents. big deal, but we can't say that because that's too sensible.
This is a huge problem in Houston, where Culberson is the congressman. Huge problem.
Snicker problem?
All people are talking about is the fingerprint database of 700 people.
Meanwhile, there's an intentional effort in Wisconsin to prevent black people from voting.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
That's
a far more serious issue. And again, one of the issues that could be massively affected by this election, because again, Barack Obama it's a high number for Barack Obama, but he has appointed, I think, what number did I give? 320 some odd judges. And if you count the judges, the seats that he hasn't filled are the ones the Republicans have held up in 8 years. It's 420 judges. Trump probably wouldn't get to appoint that many, but he could easily put 300 permanent federal judges in. And these are the judges that would hear Scott Walker and the efforts of the Republican legislature in Wisconsin to literally make it almost impossible for black people to vote in Wisconsin who don't have an ID, to make sure they don't still have an ID. And the stories are outrageous, and Ari Berman did such a great job in The Nation at reporting the story. And again, these are the things that matter. It's the little things. They're dull. I mean, they're not dull if you're trying to vote in Wisconsin, but these are the little levers of government that need to work right, and why you need to have, at a bare minimum, regardless of policy, some degree of competence and professionalism there, and Donald Trump wouldn't provide it, and is evidenced by the people working on his campaign staff and the surrogates out there talking for him, from Jeffrey Lord to who's Jeffrey Lord is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
To Kayleigh McEnany,
I mean, he's good. I don't think he's that great.
These are the kind of people. I mean, you think Mike Brown was bad running FEMA?
Oh, heck of a job, Brownie.
Heck of a job, Brownie. I mean, get ready for a rash of guys like Jeffrey Lord running FEMA and organizations like that. And Jeffrey Lord's like, hey man, what did I do? I'm not going to run FEMA, right? But I mean, that's what you're going to get coming with the Trump administration.
Breaking news: Screw Magazine has just endorsed Donald Trump.
That's three.